so in terms of myself, my name's Myriad Nelson. I'm the Finance Director of Forest Research. I've been in post for about two and a half years, since April 2018, and I have a background in central government finance, working at audit offices, etc., and the Welsh Government. So I won't dwell too much on me because you want to hear more about our organisation. So in terms of the organisation, we're Forest Research. We're the principal provider of tree-related research across government in the UK. We're internationally renowned for the provision of our evidence and scientific services in support of sustainable forestry. We've got a huge role in protecting trees and forests and ensuring sustainable adaptation of our forests to climate change. We do that across the UK. Our principal sites are in Farnham in the southeast of England and in Roslin in Scotland. We have around 250 staff at a variety of locations across England, Scotland and Wales, but our two primary sites are Alice Holt in Farnham and the Northern Research Station in Scotland.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a director at Myriad Consulting, and we're the implementation partner for Forest Research. We're based in Birmingham, 25 plus members. We are Unit 4 accredited, a premier partner, and we're recently, or actually now, are launching something that we call My Success, which is orientating the entire business around the successful delivery of projects for our customers. And hopefully you'll visit our booth and various things during this conference, this excellent conference, and you'll find out more about what we're doing. But let's have a look at this project. This project is about forest research, the implementation of Unit 4 ERP. I'm just going to talk to this slide quickly, Myriad, if that's okay, and then I'll ask you a few things. So, from memory, started around 1st of April, sort of got going in the summer, and 2019, with a view to your first year end being obviously this year in 2020. About an 8-month build. About 8 members of the FR team in total, working across all the modules. And the modules were the finance modules, including fixed assets. You've got human resources, extensive use of the human resources module. And I think actually you've just used the intro tool and the pulse survey to look at your staff's attitudes and thoughts about working from home under COVID and lockdown and all that kind of stuff, which I'm sure people want to ask you about at another time. From a Myriad point, the other thing, of course, being a project-based organisation, you had PCB, so timesheets, invoicing, expenses, and all that good stuff. Myriad, it's about 4 of us at any one time working on the project. And like I said, we were looking for the first year end being 31st of March. We're looking back the other day and we were thinking about the achievements you made in the first year of go live. Sort of, if we were sort of sitting there summing this up in the sort of February time of this year, these are the sorts of things that I think we would have been saying. So if you just want to elaborate on some of those, that would be great. Yeah,
okay. It's just starting right at the top then, Ben. We hit the ground running on the 1st of April 2019, and that was a huge success. We had such a short lead-in time in terms of the preparation and configuration to this. So, 6 to 8 months really to get everything in order, provide training to the business, and then hit the ground running on the 1st of April 2019. And between us, the collaborative approach between Unit 4, Myriad and Forest Research enabled this to happen. So that's the huge sort of achievement on that side of things. The other thing to mention, which is hugely important, is the culture change. Historically, within the organisation, there's quite manually based and paper-based processes, which have been around forever and a day. So overnight, for the 1st of April 2019, we didn't just plug in the new system with all the new configuration, etc. We had to adopt all the new digital processes, which are fantastic from my perspective, really enhance the financial control environment by putting in procurement gateways. But that aside, it was a significant step change for the agency as a whole, who were just not used to this scale of change and the digitalisation. But we managed to achieve it, and it's another fantastic result. In terms of outputs then from the system, we paid over 99% of our suppliers within 10 days, which exceeds the government target. And we had some fantastic audit reports on various aspects of the system in the first year from our internal audit partners. So on our expense modules, the procurement side of things, budgetary control, because we have to balance our books from a revenue position each financial year, combining government funding with external commercial income. So we've really got to have a handle on our finances, and the Unit 4 ERP system allowed us to do that. So it was a fantastic first year, really. Everybody involved.
Because I can remember sort of in February time, we're sort of sitting down, or maybe January, or maybe just before Christmas, we started to think about the whole year end and getting ready for the year end. And we thought we were in really good shape. And then, of course, COVID hit us and sort of changed the game completely. So all of a sudden, the whole raft of new challenges, but you still had to make those deadlines. They were not going to go away. And so, you know, could you have coped with lockdown with your old system?
No, it would have been a real deal breaker for us with our old systems and the commitments we'd entered into with some of our partners, like our auditors. We work closely with the National Audit Office, who would have had to sign off the accounts, and I don't think they could have signed them off historically, because we wouldn't have been able to produce them with the old systems. So I convened a team meeting right at the end of March when we were hit with a lockdown position, and we decided collectively to give it a go. Bearing in mind, we'd never run a financial year end with the new Unit 4 ERP system, but we had full faith in it because we'd been operating and under that process, under the new digital processes for nearly a year. So we decided to give it a go. But no, we wouldn't have been able to cope because of the configuration of our old systems. We decided to give it a go and see what would happen.
And then, so that coupled with your IT changes on Unit 4 ERP meant that life was different for you, and you could at least imagine trying to have a go at delivering these deadlines.
Yeah, our IT team needs huge credit here, because they put in a whole new infrastructure to provide a platform for which the Unit 4 ERP system on a dedicated cloud solution, which we procured, could actually operate. And without that infrastructure, then we wouldn't have been able to operate it. So it's a great collaborative effort between all of us, really, all stakeholders, to ensure that it could be achievable.
What about you know, the users who are sort of working now? I mean, I know some of your guys, well, actually a lot of your scientists are not roaming the streets, but they're roaming the forests and stuff. And, you know, you've got users now working from home, and with procurement process, requisitions and all that and approvals. Did that still carry on okay?
Yeah, I mean, we had our doubts because we were largely manual-based process organisation, but with the changeover of post-transition to the Unit 4 ERP, then it allowed everybody to do things remotely, can conduct all their processes from wherever they needed to, whether it was in the forest, if they needed to order or put a requisition in or order goods, they could use their mobile technology, put in their timesheets, approve some of their colleagues' annual leave commitments, etc. They didn't have to be chained to a desk anymore, and we need to embrace the agile working going forward now with the COVID restrictions, and we're best placed to do that, in my view, because of the new Unit 4 ERP system, which allows us to work anywhere, anytime, under a safe, controlled environment, which stores our data securely, but importantly allows access to that for those who need it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously I'm an accountant of a certain age, and I can't print. I can't produce any accounts without printing like loads of reams and reams of paper and stuff. I mean, how did you guys get on? I mean, if you're in an office, you can print stuff out. You can, you know, huddle around it. You can draw on it, file it, put it in the bin. how did your team manage when they're sort of working remotely and still got to work through a huge amount of data to prepare the accounts ready for audit?
Yeah, it's a shock to the system, really, but at the same time, it's a really beneficial step forward and a massive step change. Hand on heart, I haven't had a printer. I've been working from home for 6 months, and I haven't had access to a printer from home, and nothing's stopped me. I can get anything I want from the systems and the Unit 4 ERP, so there's no adverse effect on that. In fact, all the benefits are positive, and something which has sort of stood us up well for the future, and another platform really to drive the business forward in terms of agility going forward.
I guess sort of being geographically spread and doing all this stuff, like a central database was helpful. One version of the truth. I know we had a couple of iterations of that to start with, trying to get that one version of the truth. But once we got there, I guess that was kind of important in giving you guys the faith and confidence in what you were doing, specifically, especially when you're working remotely.
Yeah, exactly. It just allows everybody to see the documentation whenever they want at the right time, and nobody can sort of take direct ownership of that information as long as the access permissions are correct. So it just frees it up for people to see the same documents at the same time, wherever they're working from, whether it's from the comfort of their own home or in the offices, etc. It's all available to them.
What about auditors? I mean, how do they cope? Trying to organise what they need to do to sign the accounts off?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. We didn't provide the auditors direct access to the system, just because we never do. What we do is give them direct extracts from the system, which they download into their own software, and then they do their analytical testing on that. So payroll, for example, supplier invoices, they get full downloads, and we were able to provide those directly to the auditors, who are the National Audit Office and are very stringent on these processes and the data, and very thorough in their audit work as well. So their sample sizes are quite high in terms of the transactions and balances that they're testing, and we were able to provide them everything, not just the underlying transactions, but the underlying data sources, contracts, invoices, requisitions, everything that goes with that. We were able to provide all of that digitally and remotely in order for them to sign off the account. So no hold-ups from any aspects of that.
So despite it being a new system and everybody in lockdown, it's sort of like an unimaginable situation. In none of our project meetings do we ever talk about what would it be like if everybody was in lockdown. So despite all of that, you still managed to meet these new reporting timetables.
Yes, yeah, I think it's because it's just the forward look and the actual solution which we sort of implemented, really, the Unit 4 ERP. It's not like we had a crystal ball in these project meetings, but because of our dispersed nature, and we have to operate across various sites across Great Britain with only a few staff, then we needed to have that accessibility and safeguarding of data, really. So by configuring it the way we did and choosing Unit 4 ERP to be the solution, then it just has set us up to be able to cope. And we met all the timescales, got all the information we required out of the system with full access. And yeah, it was just looking at this slide now, it was seamless.
Yeah. I think, we're just coming to the end of our time. So I was just going to ask you to sort of pick out a few things, a few bullet points to sort of finish off with. I know you've mentioned seamless, and I know you want to talk about downtime as well. So yeah, just over to you, really.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Ben. Well, the first bullet point's around account certifications deadline. I won't go into that in any depth because I did a separate case study for Unit 4 on that, which was a huge collaborative effort between Forest Research, Myriad, Unit 4 to ensure that we got our accounts signed off and laid before Parliament. The big thing around that is, yes, we ticked the box to get the account certified, but we ensured that by getting that account certification sign off, everybody was happy with everything that we did in that first year, which was really, really challenging. And that made a world of difference to me and all my teams. It was a huge success story from that side of things. The other thing I'd pick out is no downtime. I regularly get asked by potential customers of Unit 4 and other ERP systems is, what's the downtime like on the Unit 4 ERP solution? And I can honestly say I've never experienced any downtime whatsoever, whether these things happen in the night or whether it's because we're on a dedicated cloud solution. Our teams have never had to send out an email to the business saying we've got system lockdown or shutdown day on this particular day or weekend because we're upgrading this or that. It's just seamless on that and happens behind the scenes, and we've had no downtime in 18 months, and I can honestly say that. So the fact that it gives us real-time access to data whenever we need it as well is fantastic for running project reports, because every penny counts for us. We get tested out on value for money, lots of scrutiny, and we've been able to improve the financial control environment and not experience any downtime at all. So it's been fantastic for us.
Well, I think that's about us really for our time together today. You know, obviously, if we were together, we'd now get up and hug and say goodbye. We can't do that, but thank you very much for sharing your story with us today, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with you guys at Forest Research, and I'm looking forward to carrying on doing so with the other things we've got planned for the future. So thank you very much, and I'll see you sometime soon.
Thank you, Ben. No, thanks for all your help as well, and thanks to everybody for the invitation today. It's been a pleasure to present at the conference and share our story, and happy to have a deeper dive into anything after the event. Thank you.